Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about something from Jurassic World. Back in 2015 when the fourth film hit theaters, there was a lot of speculation taking place online about the theme park on Isla Nublar. And one of the things that got a lot of people talking happened to be Jurassic World's inclusion of a mounted Spinosaurus skeleton on Main Street. This skeleton would later be shown off at the end of the film when the original T-Rex from the first movie burst through its bones and roared at the Indominus. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that this was a pretty symbolic moment. After Jurassic Park 3 came out, there was an infamous backlash against the sailed theropod that was easily able to kill a Tyrannosaur during the film's first act. And this moment in the new movie was done in direct response to that. When the Tyrannosaurus Rex destroys the Spinosaurus skeleton and roars out at the new dinosaur that's been cooked up by greedy executives, it's basically a visual representation against that very thought process. Interestingly, some people actually have come along after the fact and said that they believe the skeleton that we see the Rex break through in the film to be that of the Spinosaurus itself, like the one that actually was running around killing everything on Isla Sorna in the last movie. The reason people started believing this was because of a video that an official Jurassic World account released after the movie came out. In that video, the account goes over some of the Easter eggs that were peppered throughout the fourth film in the series. They talk about the drops of blood being a follow-up on the drops of water that Malcolm gives us in the first film, and you can even see one of the books Ian Malcolm wrote called God Creates Dinosaurs multiple times in the movie. When it came time to talk about the Spinosaurus skeleton, the account zoomed in on the bones and singled them out, saying, "The Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. So of course, a ton of people took to the internet to talk about this video clip, and many of them came to a mutual belief that this meant that the Spinosaurus from JP3 had somehow died and its bones were on display in the fourth movie. So when the T-Rex burst through them at the end, it's actually breaking the real bones of the animal that killed the other Rex in 2001. While that does seem kinda interesting and pretty fun for a lot of people, I actually 100% do not believe this to be the case. In fact, I think in retrospect, looking back at this whole situation seems kinda silly. Now granted, I do see how the phrase, the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 can be pretty persuading, but I still don't think that this means what people think it does. If we take a look at the skull shape or even the sail of the skeleton and compare it to what we know to be the real thing from the third film, we can see some pretty massive differences in anatomy, the most striking of which happens to be the large bony crest that sits in the middle of the skeleton's skull. If we go back and look at the dinosaur from JP3, we can see that the Spinosaurus in that movie lacks this bone structure entirely, and instead, it actually has two smaller crests on the opposite sides of its head instead of just one that's directly in the center. And while I can't say that I know the exact measurements for the skeleton, at first glance I gotta say, he looks pretty small compared to the one that we saw on Site B. Ever since that video clip on Jurassic World Easter eggs came out, there has been a lot of discussion around the Spinosaurus from the third movie being either dead and or mounted in the new theme park. But in all due respect, I have to say I strongly disagree. Yes, you could form your argument around the official account posting that the skeleton is the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, but I honestly think that this is open to a lot more interpretation than some people like to believe. The way I always saw this Easter egg in the video was that it was a reference to the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3, and it wasn't trying to say that this was the actual animal itself. If it truly is supposed to be that dinosaur, then the irregularities of the skull shape should be called into question ASAP. We know that the Spino from the third film was genetically modified anyway, so that's enough reason alone for it to look different from a real-life fossilized counterpart, which is what I believe this to be in Jurassic World. But anyways, what do all of you guys think about this? Do you personally interpret this Easter egg video as being proof that the Spinosaurus died and that its bones were mounted in the theme park? Or do you think that they simply meant that this was just a reference to Jurassic Park 3? That's pretty much how I'm going to stay until any evidence comes out that says otherwise. Now, whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. It really means the world to me that all of you continue to watch my videos, and I never want any of you to forget that. Now, I'd like to thank all of you for watching today's video, and hope you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like, and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. See you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.